I think we are live, so test. All right. Welcome everyone who's tuning in to January 6th Vigil in the Northern Neck. This is day 1158 since January 6th of 2021. It is March 8th, 2024. And as usual, we'll start with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance and get going. So I want to start out and I want to just give thanks to our Heavenly Father.
Excuse me, are you sure it's live? I'm not seeing it. You sure it's live?
It's usually a little bit of a delay there, Gene, I think, maybe, but yeah, probably.
Sorry.
That's all right.
We stand next to each other last week.
I'll look back here.
Okay. Yeah, I've had it there for a little while, and it hasn't, but that's showing us last week.
Oh, you were logged in already? And we're waiting for it before I turned it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit. It looks like we're fine here.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Give me a chance to put my thoughts.
Just check. Just check in.
All right, so Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to come together in support of these men and women and their families, and thank you for giving us the ability to be their voices and to help them out of this horrible mess of January 6th incarceration. And I want to especially thank you, God, for your guidance and support this past week. And I want to just dedicate tonight's meeting to my sister Susan, and may she rest in peace. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So to give you guys that context, my sister Susan was murdered in her own home August 30th of 2019, and it took until this Tuesday till her killer was finally sentenced. And it just shows you the problems with our criminal justice system as it is, but it also shows you what a cunning individual can do to prolong things. And I've learned a lot about that over the past few months. But justice was served. This man who committed third-degree murder knew my sister, murdered her anyway in her own home, will serve at least 15 years to 40 years. So basically, could be the rest of his life behind bars. So that was justice. I was very, very nervous about that justice because we see January 6ers being sentenced to 22 years, 8 years, things like that. And I thought, if somebody can murder my sister and get less than 15 years, what do we have, you know? This is a mess. So I want to dedicate this to Susan. I don't know if y'all can see her here, but this is a picture. She loved tie-dye shirts, and she made this for me. This was her life partner, Jack. The two of them used to love to go out and do all kinds of cool stuff. They like digging for artifacts, and they gave me a few things here that I put together on a necklace. I wanted you to see it. It's a token that I've been carrying around with me for a few weeks now in my pocket every day. Those are European trade beads that were brought over here by the first Europeans to come, the trappers and so on, and the Indians loved to trade for those beads because it was like wampum. And those are actual points of arrowheads. So they used to go hunting for this stuff all the time. And it's pretty cool. So again, that's my dedication to my sister Sue. A lot of things I want to talk about real quick. I hope we get to the roll call. I'm not sure because I want to talk about a couple other things. I always tell everybody, look at NPR, right? The NPR website, it's a great place. It's updated every Friday night. I waited long enough tonight to look at it that it was updated at 5:30. So y'all know that the arrests for J6 are increasing.
Yes, there's 10.
There were 20 between Friday this week and last week, if you go by NPR. First one, Stephen Michael Baker. He is the journalist who works now for the Blaze Media. He was independent at the time. He was a real journalist, and he's the one who's been catching all the stuff that's going on, the shenanigans. He's the one who put light on the fact that Officer Dunn, when he claimed to have been confronted and being racially assaulted and so on in the rotunda, that Dunn was there, but the other person, Lazarus, who backed him up and perjured himself, basically, saying that he was there and he witnessed this, was proven to be completely on the other side of the Capitol. Steve Baker, who brought that out, and many, many other things, because he's one of the 6 original journalists that got to see the January 6 tapes. He went in researching those things, knowing what to look for. Several other groups, like NPR and, whoever the other ones were, I don't recall right now, they just went in and started reviewing tapes. Well, Steve Baker knew exactly what he was looking for. He was looking for specific cameras and specific time frames to prove things. I printed this one pager out, I'm going to show you all, but between him and the 20th one, which is a lady named Annie Vo, 69 years old, of Fisher, Indiana, doesn't tell anything about what they did, but they're picking up 69-year-old people who walked through the Capitol, and then there's 18 more of them in between. But definitely look at it, and
I think I heard that last night. She's the mother of another J6er.
oh, really? So they're coming after the mothers now.
Yeah, it's mother, daughter, and I think there's
Because
even.
I thought they said Bo, but you said Vo, so now it's clear.
And what in the world would she have done? Yeah.
She was there.
Well, let's see. Entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. So to answer your question, nothing other than be there.
Right.
Oh, and taking selfies.
So, yeah, everybody, NPR, J6, just do a search for that. It's great.
What was her name?
There you go. It's Annie Vo. And it's just a good idea to go in there and look at that. So here's another article I want to put out. This is a Epic Times story that was put out on March 6th, so
I read that one.
just 2 days ago. After a pause, January 6 arrests are now sharply increasing. The FBI is making arrests, and the DOJ is filing charges at the quickest pace in 3 years, pushing the expected total up to 2,150 arrests by 2026. I've heard more than that, actually.
Wow.
This is by Joe Hanneman, who is one of the original 6, along with Steve Baker, who got to see this video footage, and Joe has been covering January 6th since the beginning. There's some interesting stuff. You said you read it?
Yeah, I read it.
There's some interesting graphs
That's
in
when the
here.
statute of limitations runs out in 26.
Right,
And so they want to get as many of them as they can, even if they were just standing on the grass.
right. Yep, every day you see 2 or 3 more, 6, 8, 10 a week, as we saw 20 last week. 5-year statute of limitations, as you mentioned. This is a long article. I just printed out the first few pages.
It's well worth the read.
Here's the top January 6 arrest states: New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Florida, Texas, and California. I think,
Notice the ones that aren't really heavy into it.
yeah, and they have a perfect conviction rate too. The DOJ has a perfect conviction rate. Stats I've seen, there's
65.
normal. Yes, that's exactly what I saw. 65 would be the normal. Well, it's right here. It's on that article too. There's a picture of Sarah Maccabee. I met her just 2 weeks ago or 3, whenever I was down there. And didn't you say her husband's getting transferred out?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
And also Brandon Fellows.
do you want to give an update, Cheryl, in case before the calls come in? I kind of ran out of steam there.
The J6ers that are moving on are Brandon Fellows, Ron Maccabee, and Jacob Circle. Jacob Circle is is really new to the pod, and so he's moving out. We don't know where yet. Brandon Fellows was sentenced to 37 months, and Ron Maccabee was sentenced for 70 months, but we don't know about the time served already, if that's going to be reduced.
Well, they seem to be able to do whatever they want to do. Nobody's doing anything to stop these arrests.
Right. And Annie Vo, who Tom mentioned, the 69-year-old woman, her son is Anthony Vo, and Antony Vo, and he was arrested earlier.
On the good news side. On the good news side. So Cheryl's been in contact with Jonathan Motherfo, and as a consequence of that, Barry Ramey has been trying to reach out to Cheryl. They're both DOT people at this point. And it looks like, though they won't be able to see the vigils or anything like that, at least text and writing letters and emails even, although that system is kind of hazy. Looks like we'll still be able to maintain contact with them.
What do you mean it's hazy?
It doesn't look like a normal email interface. It's like restricted. That's all. Yeah.
It's just they're timed on the computer, so they don't have a lot of time to respond, and because they have to wait because other people are waiting to use the computer, so it's a timed out on the computer. They can only use it. Well, I usually get my emails at 6 in the morning and 7 at night, so, and you could do it twice a day, I guess, but it is a time thing, so.
What about, there's a heck of a lot of characters. There's something like 12,000 characters you can put into an email. So have you tried sending really long stuff to them?
I did like a 2-pager, and I'm worried that I don't know if they have, the time is when they read it, so I'm afraid I'm taking up a lot of time by just sending 2-page emails, and it's taking them like 10 minutes to read it or whatever, or if they could print it out and read it at their cell and then respond later. So I just don't know about that. I wrote really long ones, so now I said I'm going to write shorter ones just in case I'm taking up too much of his time by having him read it online.
Maybe we could ask the guys about that.
Yeah, well, they're not using Core Links down in DC, though. It's a different system there. That's in the federal system, I think.
I asked him that, so we'll find out.
Well, it's a good question to ask anyway, if they know about it. Well, some of them have been through them and back again, so they were in federal and then back down to DC. But I sent the Nichols case. Let's see. Fisher, Joseph Fisher case, the Supreme Court case that's going to go up on April 16th. I sent the entire document in a multiple series of emails to somebody that I communicate with, so I haven't seen whether any of it got through yet or not, but I thought it'd be fun to see.
Sure.
So a lot of times the new people that were arrested before were going through the Northern Neck, and then they went to DC. Do you think any of the new people will go through Northern Neck?
Well, we've got some links there inside, not real strong, but developing links with people to see if we can get somebody to tell us. I asked the question at the jail board meeting a month ago whether they would tell us if there was anybody there, and the answer we got from the new superintendent is, well, we don't know why they're in here for. We don't know that.
Yeah.
and
In an ideal world, that would make sense.
And maybe that's true on the front office, to some degree for a little while or whatever, but, they go through the whole intake process. They have to, so that was maybe a test, to see how we would respond, or whether we would even, let it lie at that. I don't know. It's worth re-exploring, I think.
They know.
I think they know.
Sure, you get DUI, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
A friend been there, and Rolla got in jail before DUIs, and it's all documented.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's to keep a corrections officer from saying, hey, what are you in here for? Of course they're going to ask him. They're going to ask him all the time.
That's right.
Did you hear what happened last night when the Biden was doing his president? He was on his way to do his State of the Union, that apparently a couple hundred protesters stopped the motorcade from entering, and so they were laying down in the streets and to prevent him from going in.
Giving him a dose.
So Mickey Withoff was telling us about it last night, that they saw all the cars and everything from where they were standing, and I guess they had somebody going there to give us the update.
That's funny and interesting. All I heard was that the president was very angry. So that's
Hanging
all.
all night.
We didn't want
Hanging all night.
to give him the pleasure of putting a view on his website, so we didn't watch.
I watched, it was like popcorn time, you know. We told the people laying in the street, no, that's against the law what they were doing.
Yeah,
No different than J6.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, thank you so much for the
But
prayers.
I think the protesters in question were the pro-Palestinian protesters.
Oh, yeah, they were doing it, yeah.
It wasn't somebody from, we don't lay down in the middle of the street. We're not done with that. You know, we've watched them in videos all over the place where you get these protesters and you got the sheriff's department driving through them, you got out there in Nevada and New Mexico, and we don't do that. We're not that dumb.
Yeah, so we don't know what happened, if anything, to those protesters that were stopping it.
Well, right. That could have been anybody. I saw a little video on X today of a young woman who is in college, and she's working 4 jobs as well as going to college, and she's ranting and she's angry at America because of the fact that she has to work 4 jobs while she's going through college.
Right.
And she was almost unhinged, just screaming, F America and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't think a lot of people really have a good understanding of why the situations are the way they are right now.
Well, there's that, and there's also, I'm sorry, but I remember starting out as a young adult, very young adult. Things were not easy. I lived an awful long time on ramen and potatoes and mixed veggies and hamburger, whatever I could find and afford. Yes, it was. You weren't there.
I remember eating chicken pot pies where you thought the chicken just kind of jumped over it, They're just
Right, exactly.
four for $1,
I remember those, yeah.
And yeah, I was working a couple of jobs, so everybody used to. A big Friday night was a strawberry knee-high and a payday bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids act like they need to go on cruises,
Right. Well, on the other side of that coin, I heard a report this week that was saying that the same generation that we're talking about, when their parents die, they will be the wealthiest generation in American history.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that too. It was
Yeah, it was on Newsmax, I think. It was
because all their parents going to leave all
Yeah,
their
right,
stuff.
exactly, yeah.
Let's see how they complain about capitalism at that point.
Great.
It's crazy.
So people making decisions about everything that never had to work for anything really in their lives or to get to where they are, they just got to hand it to them.
Yeah, and actually, I saw, don't ask me exactly where, because, a lot of information goes by my screen so fast I don't always get all the details right, but they're running for office. These same people are now of an age where they can run for office in localities, and we've already seen a few crazies run for office, more than a few. But now we're talking about a generation that's intellectually handicapped because they went to our universities.
Hey, there's a big one along those lines that, when is the Virginia session out? Is it already, was today the last day, or is there one more day coming up? Does anybody know? I've been traveling, so I haven't been able to look at my stuff at all.
Yeah.
But there is a bill that is headed to the governor, and I'll try to find it here in a second, but it's basically going to allow for ranked choice voting in localities. And if you've researched ranked choice voting,
We don't want to do that. That's an Alaska thing. We don't do that.
it sounds nice, it sounds equitable, right? But it's really, really bad. So we need to put the word out if there's still time. I might have missed it.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Janatakis.
An inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up. Your current balance is $53.82. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Good evening, Patriots. Good evening, Patriots. How's it going, guys?
Doing
Awesome.
good. How you doing?
I'm alright, It's Q and Brew.
Yeah.
Q and Q, or whatever you want, or Brew and Q, or whatever. Hey, listen, I sound like Joe Biden trying to pronounce Lake and Riley's name
Yeah.
on the State of the Union, right?
Did you notice he sounded extremely close to the character from The Simpsons, George Burns, Mr. Burns?
Mr. Burns. Smithers.
Buttigieg was Smithers out loud.
White my Smithers. So, how are you guys doing today?
Doing all right. I didn't get to see that stuff last night. I was traveling for work, but yeah, I only heard that POTUS was angry. That's what I heard.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of yelling. Everything was, yes, he was very, very angry. Everything was one tone. I mean, even when I'm yelling, I mean, I'm up, I'm down, you know what I mean? It was really weird.
Yeah.
So,
On the one hand, you kind of like to see him a little lively.
yeah, I mean, I'm wondering what he got. Because,
Wonder what he's thinking.
right, what was he taking? Because,
What is he thinking?
like, I could use a little bit of that at, like, 8:45 a.m., 8:45 a.m. right before I work out, and I'd probably get hit with a class 3 narcotic, though.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But,
The cocktail with Coca-Cola and cocaine.
So he had unusual stamina, is what you're saying, huh?
yeah, right. Yeah. He was able, and are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
I'm using I'm using a new mic, and it's an old set, but it hangs down low. So, but yeah, he had unusual stamina. He blundered a few times, which wouldn't be a big deal.
I mean, honestly.
But it's Joe Biden, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, we're looking for it,
Extra close, yeah.
right? So.
I would have just liked to have heard a statistic that was accurate.
The one thing, Northern Neck. The one thing, Scooter says hello. Brian Jackson says hello.
Yeah, hey, Matt.
Yeah, he says hey back. He was just wondering, he's like, why are you on the phone? It's only 7:30. I'm like, Northern Neck, man. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can't
So
see homies over there.
So it was a little unusual. He was very, very angry. Couldn't pronounce certain Lake and Riley. And Lake and Riley's mom blasted Joe Biden for getting her daughter's name wrong at the State of the Union.
I mean, that's the least you could do.
Because he was literally reading the pin. And like, come on, dude, like, listen, I love MTG, right? But if I'm Joe Biden or Joe Biden's people, I'm like, listen, Crazy Magdalene is going to be there, right? MTG. You better have that pin on. In fact, you should wear it on the inside of your jacket. We should get you like 50 of them. And then, like, how cool would that have been? See, I really could work in politics. Like, oh, you mean these pins? And he takes off his jacket and flips it in reverse and puts it on, and all you see is Lake and Riley, justice for Lake and all these things.
All I can think of is office space. Does he have enough flair?
Yeah, does he have enough flair? No one would ever say Joe Biden wasn't prepared ever again. I mean, come on, the conspiracy theorists on our side, like, hold on, FTG is a plant. She told them it was coming. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been great. Anyway, so he did. Laken Riley blasted out Biden for getting his daughter's or her daughter's name wrong. Biden did have Capitol Police arrest Steve. I'm gonna mess up his last name. Steve Nikui, I guess. Steve Nikui, who's the Gold Star father, for interrupting the State of the Union. He was taken out of there pretty quickly.
Didn't they give him an obstruction fine?
I'm not sure what they did.
I heard that today. I'm not sure if I did.
I was hoping for him to be involved because I'd love to shake the man's hand. Send him up here for that. You know what I mean? You know what? Hey, listen, not to jump topics, but this is kind of like going on to, I wanted to get on with this other topic actually first, and then we were going to go into the State of the Union, but you know how it goes. In show business, you know, you got to roll with the punches. I guarantee you, Steve would have hand-delivered my letter to the judge. Speaking about, we're just going to talk about, like, you guys know I talk about me because I don't want to bring up anyone else's name. I'm going ham on this thing enough that my name's starting to get really, really, I guess, noticed, and the lefties are starting to notice, which means that the damage, it's getting bad. So this is what I know. All I know is my case, I was supposed to get sentenced on the 12th. A lot of you guys are going to be there, so I was told, thank you.
Yep.
It's vacated. No date has been given. It was a sealed indictment, which I'm guessing, if you all know about that, my lawyer put in a medical, like a under duress thing that says, and then his shrink said, oh, well, yeah, he's still under duress and this and that, and, you know, he's losing his mind and blah, 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 or whatever. I kicked the dude out of the second meeting. I was like, get out, we're done. Because I was under duress, okay? I think anyone would be.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're incompetent.
I certainly was under duress when I signed around August 26th, my birthday, when I signed, not this past August, the August before that, when I signed the,
Stipulated trial?
no, not stipulated trial, but for the bench trial, I think that's when I signed it. That's when I was in Northern Neck and under, 40-something days straight of in the hole, and then right after that was in the medical wing.
Yeah, so in the duration that they're torturing you,
Yeah,
of course.
I'm being told, hey, by the way, you got to sign this, you got to sign it.
Temporarily messes with your mental capacity.
So, my wife and I don't remember when my trial was actually that I said, okay, I'm going to sign for stipulated trial. But on July 18th, give or take, around that date, I wrote the letter to the judge because I'm looking back at my wife's and I text messages, and she's like, hey, by the way, I want a real divorce, right? So I go ahead, like, screw you, you're not going to get away with this. Like, you can divorce me, I don't care, right? But I'm thinking about Nathan, right? And I'm like, you're not going to get sole custody. Like, I'm going to fight you every step of this way. And she's like, well, I want a real divorce, blah, blah, blah. Like, screw you. Like, we've been together for 15 years. You know what I mean? That's a long time when you're 38 years old. We've been together since we were kids, you know what I mean? 22 years old. I've been paying for everything ever since I got arrested, She's finally making some decent money, whatever, and then she says, well, I'm done. Okay, well, you shouldn't have done that. If I would have known, we would have never had kids, plain and simple. I would have been with her for 15 years. I was in this for the long run. I'm the most loyal person that I know. I talk to my friends for 15 years now. And he goes, yup. I said, he goes, you'll give me, he goes, dude, you could literally have $10 in your pocket to eat for the rest of the day. Hey man, I need $10. Okay, here you go. You know, or hey, I can't give you 10, but I can give you 7, and I can go grab 2 bags of chips so I can eat for the rest of the day. Doesn't matter, right? That's just the kind of guy I am. Until you screw me. So, found out that my wife hasn't been faithful, blah, blah, blah. So now, like, the gloves are off, right? We're going hard. My lawyer absolutely is horrible because he's getting politics. He's letting politics get into between us. I gave him an option about 5 months ago to get out. I said, listen, I know you're a lefty. And he goes, well, how do you know that? I said, because of how your face gives all the performance. I said, your face gives everything away. Everyone's face gives everything away. I'm I'm a good reader of faces and your body language and everything. I'm very, very good at that. Which is why I was able to tell that there were FBI and cops in the crowd and why I picked up the bracelet and everything else. So July 18th, I wrote a letter to the judge, give or take a few days. July 18th, I also told both lawyers, on the tablet, I told both lawyers, listen, this is what I want. I'm taking everything back. I'm going to trial. It's on the tablet. August 7th, I said to my wife, I'm going to trial. You know what? You don't want to be with me? That's fine. Good for you. I'm going to trial. February 5th, okay? And then that lawyer quit and everything else, and everyone says, oh, well, you fired all your lawyers. No, I didn't. If you really go down the line, it's very good reasoning for everyone.
There's something pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's something about my case. I've said it from the beginning because they got the wrong guy. It's held together with a string, and it's an illegal arrest. I've said this from day one.
Yep.
February 5th, I sent a 27-page letter, and also right around that time, someone sent the 24-page letter, but that was transcribed, someone from Northern Neck Patriots.
That was Cheryl.
I forget who it was, but I have it written down. I just don't have it in these notes. February 26th, I finally get a certified letter, like a write-out for one, right? Like the green slip of paper with the sticky and the scanner and everything, right? I finally get one. My first time asking for one was like August or September, okay? I have a stack of IGPs asking for certified letters. February 28th, the certified letter was picked up from the desk. It was picked up by the mail department at a Wednesday night. What, they think I'm an idiot? Like, first, you think I'm going to give you something in that's so important that it needs to get there and it's my only copy? I'm going to make other copies. I'm going to put in grievances in there that I have copies and duplicates of. I'm not going to give you my only copy. What is a freaking retard? I'm not that guy. All right, you should know this by now, and I'm telling him directly to the jail. So now, Mel Holly, who everyone knows that we kind of had a falling out, but because of things that she didn't need to do, but it was just I had to point the finger at someone, and I just said, and unfairly I kind of pointed it at her, but I was just like, listen, we're done right now. She immediately said, listen, I heard you're having problems, anything I can do. Okay, now at this point, my lawyer's not picking up the phone. He's a paid lawyer. He hasn't helped me since day one. And now she says, I'm going to call up the jail and be general counsel. Or she had a lawyer call up and be general counsel.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So the letter's still gone, okay? It hasn't been picked up. Today, my lawyer access was denied, or September 21st, my lawyer access was denied with Maria Rodriguez. Today, my lawyer access was denied, cut off on a video visit. And today, legal mail was opened, and it said right there, Alaska, who'd say?
So February 5th was Alaska Federal Defense, a letter that was opened outside of my presence, and today it was my outside counsel.
Yeah, today was outside
So it
counsel.
doesn't matter what it says on the front, they say they have a process and they do not.
These people are breaking the law.
Yes.
They need to be, people really need to start, contact Congress, tell MTG to get down here. I have a ton of paperwork to give her.
Gross misconduct.
Okay, tell Troy Niels, we need to get him down here. It's time to start cracking.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
I did want to tell Chris something,
Well,
but
here, take Mike then. That was Chris Quaglin and what's Bruce's first name?
Mark Burke.
Mark Brew.
Well, if he ever calls back tonight, I sent him yesterday a certified mail receipt for the 24 pages that was sent to the judge. So I wanted him to know that it's in the mail. It's just he might need it for his records.
Okay, so you've got the receipt that it was delivered?
Yeah, I have the original. I sent him copies of it because he might need it. Like, oh, do you have? You know, they might say, do you have proof? You know, and it shows you that it was delivered to the front desk.
Awesome.
So I sent it both.
Awesome.
I sent it both to Chris and to Brew because they're screwing with his mail. I wanted somebody else's mail. So I wanted to tell him that, but you know, it just doesn't leave time for talking. But he'll get it in a couple of days. I told him I was hoping that he'd get it before his sentencing, but since it's postponed, he'll get it if they deliver it to him.
This is the book that I ordered. This is going to be our speaker at the next meeting.
Reagan?
Yeah, right. Right. This guy. That was good, Maurice.
The wish, right? The wish.
Our next speaker is this guy, not that one.
We need Reagan, man, yeah.
That was funny. But I ordered that so I can get it autographed, so.
I ordered it too for his birthday.
Oh,
But
did
don't
you?
tell him.
Don't tell him.
It should arrive today.
Good.
I haven't heard of it. Is it about searching for another Reagan that'll bring us all?
I think it's more about the journey.
Well, he's written several books on Reagan. Yeah,
I have to look him up.
yeah.
Craig Shirley.
Craig Shirley.
Yep.
But I wanted to get an
Yeah.
autograph too, so.
Yeah, check it out.
He'll be the next Northern Neck Patriot.
Yep.
Cool.
Shirley, not Reagan.
Yes. Forward by Mark Levin. I love him.
Mark Levin's a feisty guy.
He is.
Oh, this in a while ago coming in, Reverend.
You know, and you can learn so much from Mark Levin.
Maybe I'll send that book to somebody in DC. He might like it.
Larry.
You know, I never read it.
He was preaching to Biden today.
Yep.
Today, I know that.
I'll put that in my notes.
Oh, yeah.
To DC.
King George. Wow.
He's the guy that used to run the Tea Party up
Oh,
there.
really? Well, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah. Used to live down the road from me.
Yeah, 'cause that book just came out like a few weeks ago, I think.
Yes, yeah.
But I think somebody would like it in the gulag and they could pass it around.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I haven't read it, don't know what it's about, but.
It looks
well,
good.
Whatever.
It looks
You know, I'll read it.
You gotta forget about it, because I ordered it for your birthday.
If I was fortunate enough to stumble on one, I don't expect one. Just saying.
So just to repeat for anybody who's joined recently, this is a little tiny printout from the NPR website where they track the January 6 cases. So you can just do a search engine of NPR J6, and every Friday they publish an entire list of all of the various J6ers who have been arrested. This past week, in 1 week, from Friday to Friday, they have listed 20 new individuals, starting with Stephen Baker, who was a journalist, although he wasn't credentialed. And they've picked him up because of what he's done in terms of exposing the real crimes of J6, which is the Department of Justice and etc.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Taylor.
Taylor Joe talk.
an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. Your current balance is $52.12. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Hello, how are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, we're doing good in the Northern Neck. How you doing, Taylor?
I'm doing excellent. Hey, I have something I wanted to read to you guys tonight, so I wanted to just jump right in and get started, if that's okay.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so last week I read to you guys about the Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the Supreme Court case that established that there is no common law. And this week I want to read something I wrote called "It's Baked in the Cake." And what this has to do a little bit, it was yesterday, obviously, was the State of the Union, and after the State of the Union, Senator Katie Britt gave the Republican rebuttal to the State of the Union. And at the end of her speech, she started talking about the American people and how the people are still in charge. And I was very inspired by that, but one of the things that I've come to realize is a lot of people don't understand what the people are. And so that's what this piece is meant to address. Oftentimes, I get asked, what now? Or what can we do when discussing the perils and pitfalls that our country or society and communities face? The current perils we face require something more than a mere Band-Aid bill or more fiat money thrown at us. Many perils are so baked into the proverbial cake, it requires us to examine the cake's very ingredients to see why it tastes so bitter. My suggestion is to examine the very words by which we find ourselves, to see if our misappropriation and misunderstanding has given us a national ingredient list that is quickly becoming unpalatable. Let us examine two words which most do not comprehend fully their significance: people and person. Black's Law Dictionary defines people as a state, as the people of the state of New York, a nation in its collective and political capacity, the aggregate or mass of the individuals who constitute the state. In a more restricted sense, and as generally used in constitutional law, the entire body of those citizens of a state or nation who are invested with political power for political purposes. In summary, the people are the collective body of the people. Generally, the people are viewed in its larger sense, the collective, in who all political power resides. However, the definition begins with a state. What does this mean? A state can mean a few things. Again, according to Blacks, in its biggest sense, a state is a body politic or a society of men. Again, another sense that the collective is the state, and the state the people. All true. But Black's Law also says a state is the circumstances or condition of a being. So, a being is also a state, as in a state of being. Ask yourself, you, at this given time, are you in a state of being? I hope so. Who is listening to this if not a man or woman in a state of conscious being? It's not a stretch to say you are a people among the people. You are one being, people, who make up the people, the collective. Next, let's look at the word person. It's important to note in all the Black's Law definitions of people, the state, the word person is not used. You'll see why. But it's because the people are alive. They are beings in the individual and collective state. Black's Law defines a person as, in general usage, a human being, i.e. natural person, though by statute, the term may include labor organizations, partnerships, associations, corporations, legal representatives, trustees in bankruptcy, or receivers. Scope and delineation of term is necessary for determining those to whom the 14th Amendment of the Constitution affords protection. Since this amendment expressly applies to person, it goes on to say commercial law, an individual or organization, and corporation. A corporation is a person within the meaning of the 14th Amendment. Equal protection and due process provisions of the United States Constitution. To summarize, a person is both potentially a human being and a corporation, or just about any other non-living entity. The people are exclusively living beings. The persons are not necessarily living beings, but all persons, corporations, and humans are equal. What does this mean? The founders made clear distinctions. For example, in the Fourth Amendment, it says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. They clearly understood the people as the being and the person as the corpse or body. There is a difference. Fast forward to the 14th Amendment, which reads, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Do you see the sleight of hand? It could have read all people born or naturalized, but instead, in 1868, all persons was used. The labor union, the corporation, suddenly became equal to a citizen. The 14th continues, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privilege or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. I often ask myself the question, if the people in 1868 understood that by granting persons the protections of law, which was originally designed those laws, which was originally designed to protect the people from the persons, the corporations, the people now compete with corporations like Facebook, Apple, and other, quote, persons for rights like freedom of speech or association. The people are superior to the state. The people, beings, control the person, the body. But now, the body is equal to the being. The cake has a poisonous ingredient. The corporation is equal to its master, both collectively and individually. The consequences of the 14th Amendment have created 50 states that are all so alike. The idea of 50 experiments where good and bad ideas could be tested has led often to bad ideas being implemented on a grand scale. It has led to committees and boards of directors in the form of persons usurping rights intended to be reserved to the people. In a figurative sense, the living have become the dead by treating your life as a mere franchise of a corporate state. What can we do? Start acting alive. Start calling yourself a people, a living being rather than a person. You are a being with a person. Be the change you want to see in the world. Once you put this small switch into understanding, you will start to see how you are, in your living capacity, superior to anything else. The people are the power. The people can make the change. The people on a board of directors can change the actions of a corporation. The people can change their state, but the person is reliant upon the state. Change the ingredients, change the state. It's the people who bake the cake.
Nicely done. That's great. Was
Very
that the
well
first
done.
time you've read it or tonight?
I have read this once before, and the key thing in here is, and in the scriptures, Christ talks about Christ is the head. Christ is a symbolism of the Spirit of God, right? And so the spirit, the mind, the consciousness, the being is the head. The body is the church. The body is the corporation, the physical corpse. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In the Dead Sea Scrolls, Jesus says, when you get to the end of the world, you find a corpse. Corpse is the root word of corporation. You find a body. He who sees the body, the corpse, is superior. We, the people, created our government. The government answers to us. And right now what's happening, and I know you guys sense this, is how do we get a hold of the body? How do we get a hold of the government? How do we change the direction? It's not just enough to vote and hope. You We need to be a moral people, a sentient, conscious being of a people, both individually and collectively, that can make moral choices of right and wrong, and then tell the body, the corporations, the governments, the labor unions, all downstream from the mind, right, what to do. And we have to ascend into that capability. I really appreciated when Katie Britt touched on that at the end of her speech yesterday, because she's absolutely right. But I fear that in our lexicon, our American way of talking, we refer to ourselves as a person. We are not persons. We are people with persons. I am a man with a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when you start to make that separation, then all of a sudden, when someone says, well, the person has to, hold on, do I? Don't I have a choice? Isn't that the last, as Viktor Frankl talks about, the last freedom you have is the freedom of choice? The being, the mind, the state always has a choice. You're not forced into anything.
Well, that'll be interesting to think about now as I move forward and see the word person from now on. I'm definitely going to be thinking about this, so that's pretty cool. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
Taylor, this is Jean. I really enjoy when you come on and tell us these things. I shared what you said last week with everybody I met, and I'm going to share what you said tonight with everybody I meet this upcoming week. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's by small and simple means that great things are brought to pass, right? The truth is contagious and it's infectious. If you share it, once people grasp these concepts, when you're talking about government, Erie versus Tompkins, everything is commercial law. Everything is a contract. You, the people, are superior to the persons, right? Once you grasp these things, all of a sudden, you start to be in the driver's seat, not only of your life, but we collectively can start to be in the driver's seat of what happens to us as a country, right? We don't have to be dictated to. We're the ones who do the dictation. And we don't do it through force and violence. We do it through the power of our minds. When we understand our capacity, the representatives in their quote-unquote representative capacity, that's a person. We are the mind behind them, right? We need to organize with the power of the mind and to really impose our will upon the body. Just like a brain imposes the will upon the feet, and if the hand offends it, cut it off. This is what I believe Christ was trying to teach us. Right? If the Secretary of State's not doing a good job, cut his funding. Okay? That's what he was trying to teach us. And we have to be relentless as a people making decisions of right or wrong to impose it upon the persons that are all around us, the corporations, the labor unions, the municipalities, the cities, the corporate state, right? The United States government, et cetera, et cetera. We, the people, are the power, and we become the solution when we understand who we are. I do believe there has been a long concerted effort to make it so that we forget who we are, that we forget the power of not only who I am, but also who we are as a people. How do you be a people with a person instead of just being a person? That's very important. And once you understand that, the other thing happens too, is a lot of legal things start to unravel. All that we talked about last week with Erie versus Tompkins, those are contracts between people and persons, or persons and persons. Well, the people are superior. The people have equitable rights. The person has civil rights. So when people go around clamming their chest, I have civil rights, they're speaking in the form of a person. When someone says, I have rights, or I have equitable rights, they are speaking in the substance of a man. There's a big difference in how you can impose your will and impose your rights versus how you have to ask for your rights and request and ask for permission for things through your civil rights. Again, the people versus the person. People have rights and civil rights, and they are unalienable, inalienable. Persons have civil rights, and those are up for negotiation.
Very well spoken.
Hi Taylor, this is Cheryl Johnson, a little bit off topic, but a few weeks ago we were talking about that there aren't any great writer. We were wondering whether perhaps you could write a poem about J6ers or what it's like to be over there, and we could probably
We can put it to music.
Put it to music. So if you are able to,
I sent my daughter some lyrics to a song that I think would go something like, the CO don't care.
You have 1 minute remaining.
But I sent her the lyrics. If you go check out my wife's website, peasantsperspective.com, I do believe there are a few things on there that could be put to music. One particular that comes to mind is my essay called Your Flag is Upside Down. I wrote that in such a way that I think somebody could probably put that to music. But I will keep that in mind and consider having the Lord press upon my heart perhaps some writing that could be put to music. I thank you for the suggestion.
I'll be, okay, we'll give you.
We'll work on it.
Before it cuts me off, if you'd like to honor my wife and kids at home and help them out, you can always go to gibsonpro.com/John Family Help. Okay, go ahead now.
Just, I'll send you a letter. I wrote you a few times, but I'll send you a letter reminding you about that. And you could.
And we'll work on it.
That's about it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, good night. God bless you.
Good night. Bye.
I'm so glad you brought
Thank
that
you for using.
because I kind of forgot about
I wrote it down for last. Huh?
Is that right?
peasant's perspective.
Yeah.
If you look at my newsletter,
Well, yeah, and you've got,
peasantsperspective.com.
Marie is in there too. Marie has her Sunday devotionals, right? Huh?
What was that?
Marie is doing the Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday morning services things where she talks to J6ers on Sunday mornings.
Right, so if you go in there, you'll see all the, if you go into peasantsperspective.com, there's a lot of links you could click on and find out all about the Sunday morning services and all of Taylor's writings. So it's peasantsperspective.com.
I paused this
That's
for
the
you.
whole family right there.
Wow, look at the kids. Oh, what a nice family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to mention it last time, but
Wow, do you want to show me this thing? What a beautiful family.
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
turn.
No, they miss their dad.
Doesn't want to turn. Okay.
Yeah, bring it in.
Here we go
Nice.
without the glare. That's Taylor Janatakis' family.
Yeah, cool.
Is this Maurice's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to mention it till last week. Right out of
I'm
time.
glad you thought about it.
I wrote it
Because,
down.
yeah, we can put together a simple little thing.
Yeah, you could look at what he said and my next letter's going out soon, so I'll remind you.
This is a brother and sister. You know about them? I talked about that at the last
Oh, yeah.
one.
Wow.
So if you go in here, you'll see essays,
Okay.
and then has all the essays, and the flag is upside, and then you go down here and it's, you see all the essays, just keep on
Well, he's
scrolling.
very well spoken.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And flag is upside down, as you remember, that's what I put in.
What does he do for a living? He seems very well spoken.
He's a sewer worker.
He's septic.
Really?
Yeah,
A worker
very
or
well spoken.
is he-
that's what he said. He's,
This one over here is my favorite. It's called Endless Nights.
Well, he must do a lot of thinking.
Yeah. This is-
Well, yeah.
flag is upside
Seems
down.
very thoughtful.
he's highly
The
thought.
flag is upside down. That means
You can't really judge a guy
Distress.
by what he does for a
distress.
living.
Yes.
Yeah. Flag is upside down.
I was thinking upset, but it means distress. And
He was mentioning your flag is upside down. Well, talk to you later.
Maurice.
and John.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Oh, Scott Miller.
Who?
an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hey, your current balance is $50.42. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Good. How you doing tonight?
Good, man, good. Real busy week, man. How are you guys doing out there?
Yeah, glad it's Friday, you know. So. Yeah.
Oh, I hear that. It felt like Friday last night because we were all up kind of late watching the State of the Union address. So that was a good time, I guess you could say. A good time. It was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I didn't have the benefit of watching it, but I've seen some of the highlights, and I guess the biggest thing is that it lasted, 60 minutes or a long time, which was nobody expected.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be like a 30-minute thing or something, but yeah, he went the distance. And then we watched the rebuttal afterwards, which was pretty good. So, yeah, I guess you could say yesterday was kind of a Friday night, but tonight we got the SmackDown on the TV. I'm not much of a WWE fan, but every Friday night that's usually what's going on here. But anyway, man, it's been a good several weeks since I've talked to you guys. So I wanted to give you guys a couple of updates. If that sounds cool with you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I know when I called you guys last, we talked about the writing club that we started here, and you seem kind of interested in it. We've had a little bit of difficulty keeping that going. We are still doing it, but the second meeting that we had, it didn't really happen because we had a fire drill that day, or that morning, I should say. So right at the time when we were supposed to meet for our writing club, we had a whole fire drill where they brought the emergency response team in and had us all run down the stairwell and actually didn't take us outside, which was a little bit disconcerting because the weeks before they tried to take us outside to give us a little bit of rec time, and so they took us down the stairwell, and then we got to the bottom of the stairwell, and the CO couldn't get the door open. So that was unusual, and I was a little bit concerned because, a stairwell, as you know, in any kind of large building is usually served as an emergency exit. It certainly would be for us because it's the most direct route to the outside world. So they couldn't get the door out when they were trying to take us out for rec, and then a week later when they did a fire drill with us, they didn't bother taking us outside. They just took us to the bottom of the stairwell. So I was starting to worry a little bit, like, do these guys actually have the ability to get this, emergency exit open? But I think they got it figured out. But yeah, anyway, so writing club was canceled that week, and we had it the next week, and it was good. We had guys share some, a good variety of things. One guy had like a song he wrote, a very patriotic song, and another guy's working on a story about one of the J6ers here, his account of what he's been through so far. So we're gonna keep having it. It is a little tricky because it's not exactly a quiet environment usually. So it's not exactly ideal for sitting around and reading out loud and stuff. So I think we're just working on finding the right time and place to do it basically. But it's just something for us to do, and we're just trying to stay creative and help pass the time and keep ourselves engaged and productive while we're here.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea, and So do you guys trade a lot of different, books and newspapers and things like that, or do you ever get together and talk about that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm starting to get a little bit of a collection of books in my room. We share books like anytime, because our books and some of you guys can send us books and stuff. So usually when people get books in, once they finish them, they'll pass them along to anybody who wants them. And we're starting to get a little bit of a library built up in our media room. Yeah, we definitely share that. I have actually been doing less reading than I thought I would be doing. I have read a handful of books in my 2 months here, but it started to slow down because there's actually just not a whole lot of quiet time unless you stay up really late. So for me, it's a little bit of a challenge, but I know that several of the guys on here are like, they're big readers. I mean, they'll just walk around all day with a book in their hand while they're getting their exercise in. But I'm still trying to make my way through Atlas Shrugged, which is a really good novel. I'm enjoying it, but it's huge also. It's like over 1,000 pages.
Right.
So yeah, and I do, I do get excited when we get good books in here because I love good books, like classic, literature and just anything that's interesting and educational. And then for newspapers, a couple guys here get the Epic Times, so those always get shared around. And then I always steal the opinion section for the puzzles on the back. So yeah, so that's pretty good. So yeah, there's a good amount of material here usually.
Well, you just made me think of one that I want to send to you guys, so I wrote it down, and I'll try to remember to get that ordered up for you. But it's called The Daily Stoic. Do you know anything about?
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I actually. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's just a different little quotation from one of those philosophers. And I think it's organized into different sections for whatever's going on in life. But I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool because it's really short little pieces that you can kind of chew on and maybe talk about with other people and resonate with. So I think you guys would enjoy it.
Stoicism needs to come back.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Actually, I'm a big fan of Stoic philosophy myself, and I've been wanting to get some more philosophy books in here and maybe kind of share some of the teachings from some of these great wise men of times past. One of the guys in here just got Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, which is a favorite of mine. It's in my personal library at home. So yeah, I'll definitely keep my eyes open for that, and I'll definitely look out for that when it comes. That's a great idea, man. I've really found a lot of personal benefit from some of the writings of some of the Stoic philosophers, especially going through this crazy ordeal that I'm going through. It's been really helpful to kind of take their attitude towards life of just kind of accepting the things that happen to you and not allowing external circumstances affect your happiness. So yeah, man, I think more people should get into Stoic philosophy and just philosophy in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything? All right. Just checking to see if we had any other questions out here.
How's his wife doing with the pregnancy?
How's your wife's pregnancy? Cheryl wants to know.
Oh yeah, she's doing good. She's doing really good. So she's in her second trimester, early in the second trimester. Thanks for asking, by the way. Yeah, she's doing good. She's still staying healthy, exercising. I actually saw her 1 week ago. Exactly 1 week ago, I saw her. She was able to visit the jail finally. And she wasn't quite showing just yet, so she's like just right on that edge where she's about to be showing. So yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, we're so happy. I do wish that we could find somebody to help her with the dog walking, but we kind of live out in the country, so she's still handling that for now. But I think she'll be all right. Once our dog settles down a little bit, I think she'll be a little bit more able to handle that. But yeah, she's doing good. And I had a visitation with one of the supporters today. Her name was Sherry, and she was really nice. And so we just talked about each other's lives and got to know each other, and that was really cool. So yeah, things have been going all right. I mean, this is one of the craziest things that I've ever been through in life, but I'm constantly encouraged and just felt so much love from people that I've never even met before. So it really helps a lot, and I can say that all the stuff that you guys are doing is really helping us to get through this and just keep our spirits up, and that's all we can do.
Yeah, for sure, and
yeah.
Wow. Well, I love the fact that you guys call in, and it's so great to just learn more about you and how you're thinking and what's going on, and any way we can help, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. I love it when I get letters from folks, and I always try to respond whenever I get a written out letter. And I actually just got one from one of my good friends today that I've known since elementary school. So I'm saving that for later. Before I go to bed, I'll probably read that and I'll work on my response to him over the weekend probably. So yeah, I mean everything you guys are doing is great. How are things down at Northern Neck? Are there has anything changed recently?
Well, we had a contingent go yesterday to the board meeting, correct?
Yes.
And I don't think there's any news that came out of that, but they have a new superintendent, so, she started January 1st or 4th, something like that. And so we're seeing how that goes. We're trying to keep an eye on just to see if anybody else goes in there. There were 20 people picked up last week alone. So I'm not sure where all they're at and where they're going and how but I hope they don't try to get them back here, because we will be outside of that place again.
Okay. Wow, 20 J6ers last week?
This is Maurice. I was me and my wife went to the meeting, and it turns out that the state of Virginia is closing down other facilities, and they're sending existing prisoners to the Northern Neck Jail. I don't think that the Northern Neck Jail is actually going to have room for any new arrests on the J6 front. That's just a supposition on my part, but it looks like they've got other issues that they're trying to address. They're making space. Apparently they're going to convert one space for 25 more prisoners than they expected. So and they're not J6. They're not J6 prisoners. So they're already incarcerated, and they're coming from those places. So that's kind of the good news from the perspective of people that have been arrested and kind of got a family growing out here for continued arrests on the J6 side. But I don't think that Northern Neck, at least based on the information provided in the board meeting, it doesn't look like they've got the agility to accept much in the way of J6 arrests. I truly hope that I'm right.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it looks like they wouldn't really have the room for it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, hey, next time you're at the board meeting, just let them know we got room for about 25 or so more guys up here. If we have to double bunk, send them all up here to the pod, man. We'll welcome them with open arms.
Yeah. Bypass the Northern Neck.
Yeah, definitely. I actually, I had a legal visit today, and I actually met a guy that was in Northern Neck previously, and he ran into numerous J6ers there, and also here in D.C. In the federal courthouse. And, he was an interesting fellow to talk with briefly while we were just waiting to go back to our respective housing units. But yeah, we had.
You have 1 minute remaining.
We had three of our guys leave yesterday morning, and I'm a little bummed because I really liked all three of them. I thought they all brought a lot of fun uniqueness to the pod. 2 of them have been here for quite a long time, but one of them had only been here for about a week, so he got turned around really fast. So that was interesting. But yeah, I'm always happy when new guys come, just because I'm an extroverted person and I love meeting new people and seeing what people are about and hearing their stories and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, guys, this is about to cut us off. I'm glad I got to talk to you guys and talk to you, Maurice, and here and give you guys some updates. And once again, just thank you for everything you guys do. We really appreciate it, and hopefully someday we'll be able to talk with you on the outside and give you our love face to face someday.
We're hoping to make
Thank you for
arrangements
using
for that.
Global Telling.
Gertie got ya.
All right, Scott Miller.
Telling me hello, Paul.
So yeah, it's interesting the lens through which information becomes important or not. And until he started talking about it, it didn't click. They're not going to have room.
Well, I mean, we know that their average census for most of the time that we were there to begin with was right around 500. I mean, they were right up there within, and that's their max capacity is 500. But then, if you recall, the last several months, they've been down around the 400
Upper
or
twos.
less.
Upper twos, like,
Is that what they said last time?
yeah, I think she said it was like 200 and something.
Yeah, maybe you're right, because I remember writing 297 or something.
Yeah, it was.
last
I
time.
think it was down to 295
Wow.
this last week. But they're going to be getting more.
But remember, some of those prisoners they had were as a result of COVID and so on, and then because they had shut down these other facilities, and then they wanted to pull them back out. So
Right.
they're losing revenue. It's back to that whole thing.
right.
This is a prepaid debit call from
Mark.
an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. Hello, this is a prepaid debit call from
Mark.
an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse, this call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Telling.
Hello, Patriots. It's Mark Brew again.
Hey, Mark.
Filling in a little bit of space here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting tired of having to fight this system. I'd rather get on to prosperity here.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Hey, the good thing though is I think that there's been a lot of positive stuff. Even as they continue to ramp it up, we were just talking during the break between calls that 20 people were arrested last week, and the reasons are so minor now. I mean, so they're just pushing on it again, but that tells me that they're also getting desperate, because I think this work that you guys have been doing by getting your message out through the vigils, the work that people are doing with the uncovering of the videos and everything else, the story is starting, the whole thing is starting to unravel. I believe it very firmly. So hang in there, guys, because your work is going to come through.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can, it's like an energy that's in the air. I can already feel a change in the wind, so to speak. And I know, and we have an indicator, and that's just the batshit craziness of the system itself. Displayed in full display at the State of the Union, and so I think that's really telling. When you have Joe Biden basically threatening the judges, saying that the women's vote, they need to watch out and all this other stuff, I think that is uncouth and
At best.
indicative of a degenerate. So you don't need to do that. The justices are supposed to be apolitical, and so far they seem to be coming back in line with being more apolitical. I wanted to actually point out the 9-0 decision that they had recently that codified from common law the code of conduct, the canon for the judges.
And that is huge for you guys over there in Northern Neck, because they can't say they were unknowing, and they're the purveyors of the law, so we knew they knew it anyway. Okay, when you've diminished yourself from the service of a judge to a fiduciary, you can hold no more respect or authority over the people, and that's a bad thing, and that needs to be corrected. If we're going to have pride in this country, in our country, and our ability to recognize, justice and justice served. That's the kind of things that we need to have restored into this country, and it starts with recognizing the bastardized jurisdiction that they've created.
So what was that? You said it was a 9-0 decision.
Yeah.
When was it? When did it happen? And who was it? Because I want to look that one up.
So it was the Supreme Court, SCOTUS. It was all 9 judges, 9-0 in favor of, in favor of, or agreeing to codifying the canon, which is basically the code of conduct for judges, which is mostly guideline. It's like the Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, it's like the Pirates Code is more of a guideline,
Right.
per se. And that's exactly how they operate. I mean, why else would you have the skull and bones really up in the judicial system, huh? Why would they summon you from the dead and come out of their chambers and wear those necromancer robes? I mean, you gotta wonder.
Right.
And so I think that it's a fantasy that I think Americans were just too busy living life to even recognize it. And I think that it affects everybody. It has affected everybody, and in ways that we don't even understand sometimes. Like when the judges get in there and make their opinions on businesses and mergers and things like that, which are not based in the law, or they are basing it in the law, yet they allow other ones to slide. Okay, and that's the thing, that there is partiality in the justice system, and I've got a great case of it. Okay, James Emanuel Boasberg is a fiduciary, a bank teller who was offered a contract by the DOJ, a bid bond, which had improper disclosure and no transparency. And I had a right to ask them for transparency, to ensure transparency by asking them for their financials for the last 5 years and their tax returns. Okay, now this is more than just what they are supposed to report. Okay, these are all of their financials, because what they report is not what they're gaining off of sending you to jail and putting these bonds in the court registry investment system. Okay, first of all, a government official is not supposed to hold government security. So there's issue number one. Okay, and so this is what they've been doing. It's a loophole that they thought they had down pat, but it's something that we've traced through the financials, and it's a big deal. And that kind of puts you on a, for me, my hands are already guided. I already know I'm meant to be doing this, but at the same time, you look at it in the background, and you're like, man, am I going to be okay doing this, or am I going to go to some pit forever and be forgotten about? I mean, the thing is, like, you guys have done a great job to not let that happen. It's sure as heck could have happened in the DC Gulag and down in Northern Neck. So I really appreciate you guys for all the hard work that you guys are doing to bring the light to these subjects.
Well, we can't let that happen, that's for sure. And I was just thinking as you were talking about, what's on full display with the way that former President Trump has been treated in all across the country in these various cases. I think American people, even ones that don't care for Trump, are starting to realize that this is not the kind of country they thought they had. And kind of, I'll let you finish. Go ahead. there?
What's that?
Oh, I thought you were saying something. And then the other piece I was going to say is just the January 6th cases themselves. And I've been to several trials, partially, and several sentences. And I tell people all the time, you need to go there and watch this for yourself, and you see what a show is being put on. And it makes you realize that this beautiful thing we thought we had of separation of powers with 3 equal branches is really, really a fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the judge that works for the state, works with the prosecutor, works for the state, the plaintiff, and the witness is usually the police, which also works for the state. It's racketeering. It really is. It's racketeering.
It's rigged.
And it's got to stop. We have to have a civil form of government, that adheres to public law, the safety that is in it, protections. You can't just go sue somebody willy-nilly, point the finger and make a claim and bring them into court. There's due process things that you have to do in order to do that, and it makes it so that unless it's a real big deal, you're not going to mess with it. And I think that's what this country needs to get back to, is just leave each other alone. Let us prosper in our own ways, except when trespasses are happening and genocides are being committed and are concerned. Those are unforgivable to me, especially against our children.
Yeah, hallelujah on the children part of it too. That's the other part that's so sad. We're involved with other things besides January 6th, and part of that is health freedom. It's a part of it is what's happening to our children in terms of their educations, but it's also about the children that are being, just sucked up into a very, very dark world. We need to get our handle on this stuff.
Yep, absolutely. And it's gonna, I think the next move is that we're gonna have to get these corporate media companies in check, because they can't keep propagating spell is what they're doing. They're casting spells, broadcasting. There's a reason they have those terminologies, and they're holding people's consciousness, and so it's hard to get a message out there that's organic to a certain extent.
Well, we have to show.
Yeah, agreed. So, well, all right. So, what's new for you? What's the future look like? Any? Are you just going to be there for a while? What's happening?
Well, I have my court hearing, or whatever, the appellate court, April 29th. Basically, I'm making a very simple claim on this whole thing that everybody can pretty much follow along and see, but it also is the crux of the whole issue with this overarching, rampant, out-of-control government, totalitarian rule. And so we've got to stick by that, watch that real close. I got a little article coming out in the Gateway Pundit here real soon. Working on that, and just I'll throw out my DC number in case anybody wants to throw a little commissary on there. That would help out, with hygiene and toiletries and things like that. It's 386-519. Everything helps. Just even being able to buy something that's a flavor profile change is a miracle. So,
Right. Gotcha. Okay. 386-519.
Correct. Thank you. I appreciate you guys a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else? All right. Well, hey, I want you to meet Larry. Larry's going to say hello. He's not always here, but he's been here for a long time.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Larry Henson from Montrose, Westmoreland County. Been supporting you guys since day one, and with Trump elected in November, and supporting you guys, and hey, we're going to throw a hell of a party.
Yeah, no, I think there's better days ahead. And
Well, definitely, yeah. We'll invite you guys down in the North Neck, and we're going to throw a party down at a place called Leestown.
Yep.
So, it's a beautiful place.
Absolutely. Yep, it'll be a great time.
Sure,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Hey, and do you know anything about Leedstown?
I don't know. You gotta tell me.
I believe it was in 1766.
Correct.
They did something called the Leedstown Resolve. It was a precursor to like the stamp tax thing. I think the British Crown was requiring everybody to use stamped paper, and they all came together and said no, heck no, and they came and they basically swore an oath to one another that they would, you know, put their lives on the line to push back on this. It was amazing, and that's right up the road here from on the Northern Neck.
Fantastic. That's what I've been advocating for. The people need to carve their own path and break away from this contract stuff. I mean, really, the first state to succumb and secede is Illinois, and with the American Bar Association. And so once they did that, they privatized the judicial system, and we haven't had a government issued license or bar registry since. And basically, what they did was they created union dues, and that's what you have as the bar card. So there you go.
Wow, amazing.
Yep. All right, love you guys. I'm gonna say goodnight tonight. I got a few things I gotta do. Keep fighting a good fight.
Stay well.
Better days are ahead.
Bye, Mark. Take care of yourself. God bless you.
Yep, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for using
I'm really glad you brought that up about Leedstown, because that guy especially, I mean, a lot of these guys, that really resonates with them, and most people don't know about it, you know?
It's a great story. In fact, it would make a great little short movie about the birth of a nation.
We need to send him the summary. I've got a one-sheeter. If anybody's gonna be writing to him, I can send it, you know.
Okay.
You want me to flip it over to you? You can add it to it? All right. It's that document that goes through the whereas, you know, on down through, and then it's signed by 20 or 30 individuals, you know?
Yeah.
Sounds perfect.
The old family names from the Northern Neck, you know, for the people that were
Yeah,
out here.
you'd recognize, if you lived here for any length of time, you'd recognize every single one of them.
Absolutely.
Because they're all still here.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about the jails. I was somewhere the other day and they were talking about how all the Gloucester prisoners are being sent up here.
Yes,
And
they
I
are.
don't know
That's-
about
that's-
Matthews.
That's what we were talking about.
Oh,
That-
really?
That 25
Okay.
prisoner space
Are
that
coming
I was
from
talking
Gloucester?
about, that they're coming from Gloucester.
Yeah.
And then there's others out in central Virginia and down there over in far western, southern Virginia. They're gonna be shipping those over here for a longer term. So the ones from Gloucester are gonna be here for just a couple months. I think actually they're carving out 4 weeks,
Right.
because they're doing some maintenance work down there in
So
Gloucester.
do Matthews people come here too?
Um,
They're arrested?
Matthews isn't on the list of contributing or tenant counties,
Correct.
so I don't think that they're,
So they go somewhere else?
yeah, they would probably go to,
I mean, if they were state inmates that happened to hail from Matthews, and they could get here maybe eventually through the state system,
Right.
but not
Right.
directly from the county.
I thought Matthews put their prisoners into Gloucester jails. But now they're saying the Gloucester jails are coming up here, so, yeah.
but it's a short-term thing.
Oh, it is?
It's
Oh,
just
okay.
because they're doing some significant repairs
Oh, okay,
on the Gloucester facility.
okay.
Oh, tonight, man. Good call.
It's almost time.
Yeah.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Yours truly, John.
Oh, no.
an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility.
John and John
To
show.
accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up. Your current balance is $48.71. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink. Guess what day it is?
Hey!
Hey, what's up?
Hey, John and John.
Hey, what's going on? Not much. You got Johnny Pollock here, and Super Todd.
Happy Friday!
Yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah, man.
Man, I meant something.
You gotta talk
Yeah.
to these guys. They come through.
There you go.
Hey, we got a new guy here that for you all, a guy named Larry Henson. He wants to say hello to you.
Oh.
And he's been supporting you guys for a long time, so I just want him to say hello.
Good evening. How you doing, man?
Oh, little Larry.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
We're doing grand.
Think about you guys all the time, and hope to get you guys there soon. Man, it's been too long.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'd love to get out of here. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, I couldn't. I don't know about you. I can't be staying locked up. I don't know. It's been hell on wheels. I tell you. Well, I hope we got is
Yeah,
Trump.
I-
We get Trump in November. That's the only hope we got.
Yeah.
So he'll
Yeah.
get you guys
I
in
make
that
them
pardon.
uncomfortable for making me uncomfortable.
Yes. So how's it going? You everything
Okay.
okay? I mean, Bone been in North Neck, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, we're making the best of it. You know, we're doing some super Todd over here, as we like to call them, cooking up some magnificent meals. You can only compare it to prison meals because if you go outside, it might not be that great. But on the inside prison, he does a good job, gourmet.
Even outside, I'm
yeah.
pretty good. Just I don't have the same reason.
And stay busy, doing some workout. We did a good one today. Staying active, staying ready. You know, you never know when old Trump says, "Hey, buddy, it's time to come home," and you got to be ready. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, stay ready, man.
Yeah,
You
'cause-
never know when you might have to have a.
yeah, stay
You
ready.
never know
To
when
be
you might
sooner
have
or
to have
later.
a
I hope
Friday
so.
night off here.
Exactly. Nice talking to you.
That'd be good. Nice talking to you, Larry.
Take care.
Is that Louisiana accent?
Yes, sir. You too.
He asked you what kind of accent you have.
North Neck.
If it sounds like he's got
Northern
rocks in
Neck,
his
okay,
mouth, it's
Northern
Northern
Neck.
Neck.
North Neck. Born and raised here. That's all I can tell you.
Well, it sounds definitely similar to others.
So where's he from? You asked him where are they from?
Where are you from?
North Carolina.
John's from Florida.
I hopscotch across the United States. I go wherever I'm called to.
Okay.
But I'm from South Carolina.
South Carolina. All right.
South Carolina. That's
Yeah, I'm born and raised Florida, man. Lakeland, Florida.
like,
Okay. Gotcha.
that's that one right
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
there. Yeah.
All right, man. Nice talking to you. Good luck.
Hey, yes, sir. To you, brother.
Thank you.
Good talking.
All right.
So you guys got any updates on chickens and turkeys? That was kind of interesting last time.
And cows.
Oh,
Well, turkeys are still pretty stupid trying to fight for water in the ground when they could just go to the cup.
yeah, I don't think they
My
changed
sister
much.
is raising a baby goat by putting it in a, what do they call it?
Baby carry-on.
You know, a baby carry-on where they strap it to their chest. Well, she is carrying it around right now at a retirement party down in Florida, taking it to church with her and everywhere else, and bottle feeding it. And whenever she lets the baby down, it just starts whining. So when I'm on the phone with her and she sets it down, all I hear is, I'm like, okay, well, God bless you being a mother, even if it isn't with a child that can speak English.
Life is good.
God bless the goat mama.
Be the goat.
I bet she's popular when she goes out in the crowd, though, huh?
Oh man, and to think that like me and her are almost the exact same, except I'm a little bit cooler to be around. I get along with animals, but I get along with everything.
Everything. Nice. Yeah.
But the farm is having lots of babies of all sorts of stuff.
All kinds of things.
Yeah, it is springtime.
Springtime. Turkey season's coming up.
Drink time.
Oh yeah, let's hopefully we get fed. So you know when I get out, there's a good turkey dinner coming. Well, I'm not pardoning this turkey, that's for sure.
Oh.
You're not pardoning the turkey?
No, my name is not Trump provided. I will not do that. I will slaughter it and eat it. Delicious.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
The dumbest birds usually make the tastiest of meals.
dumbest birds do make the tastiest. Yeah. Birds. They are good.
Does that mean we should all
I
start
actually-
eating Democrats?
Oh.
Oh no! A different kind of bird. Hey, I'm sure Dahmer would tell you
Yeah.
all you need to know about that stuff. I'm not the one to ask though. Please forgive.
Cannibalistic stuff, yeah.
Oh, you say that though, but I heard there was some legislation floating around to make it illegal to put human flesh in any kind of food. So don't think it's out of this world, you know?
If you gotta make a law
No,
for it.
I mean, McDonald's got caught years back with human meat in their cheeseburgers.
Yes, they have.
Well, I was on a hiatus from McDonald's at that point. Yep.
Wow.
Can't eat at them anymore.
I did not know that, but that explains everything.
Yes.
There was reports about it on the news. It was huge. It was a couple years after.
It was a big
a
deal.
lady spilled coffee and was like, I didn't know it was hot, but it's coffee.
Yeah, that big ordeal where he got burned because hot coffee.
He didn't say caution hot.
Typical people.
They also didn't say you had common sense either.
No, shit, common sense don't come cheap no more.
If you could teach it, we'd be rich.
We'd be rich. Man, that's what we need to have a class this year.
Common sense. And how to clean up after yourself. Oh my goodness.
Yourself. Wow, that would be something.
Well, I don't think there's enough time in the day to have
Not enough time in here. They lock us up forever.
have a good time.
I go there, Greg, you look dumber than you came out. Crazy.
So what's new out there? Y'all saw the
I just like listening
what's
to
it?
you.
I can't even remember. I'm having a blank. Brandon, this dumb guy who had a speech last night. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah, Brandon.
Let's
Brandon.
go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Billy Go Brandon.
Is he into papoose?
That's right.
Let me just yell because I need to act like I have some life in me.
Where's the kids at? Let's get some ice cream.
Amazing.
Shower time.
Put your jacket on, Brandon.
Yeah. Clapping Brandon joke.
We're not allowed in the Capitol anymore. Clearly, they would not allow us in the State of the Union speech, but if they did, Matt, he would not be happy.
Well, if that happens someday, we'll know who it was. So thank you for saying that.
Oh, if that ever happens again, I'm going to be the first guy there going, I got farted. You can keep me down, big dog.
Keep me down.
I will challenge us to Biden. If we both have a bike race, if I win, I get out of here.
I will also take that challenge.
I'll also run stairs with you too. First person to fall loses.
Nice.
That's just too
Looks like we're
funny.
all getting out of here.
I think y'all are. Yeah.
It's great to laugh.
That's awesome.
That's all we get to do in here.
That's all you can do. Yeah, we gotta laugh about it.
You do.
I mean, we spend the whole day just cracking jokes. I mean, when I had my strip search after my visit, I was like, oh, trying to get naked. they make them uncomfortable, and I get my laugh. I'll be like, do you want to see the front side or the back side first?
We got our very own trapper.
One pluggers, one dangle.
What's going on here?
Gotta make them uncomfortable. Gotta do it.
I bet you I'll eventually have a write-up for the way I talk. Cause I'm like, what are you gonna do? Throw me in jail? I'm here. Jokes on you. I'm still here.
I
I got nothing, man.
Yeah. Yeah, just go and stand on that side of the jail now, right? What can they do? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a cemetery out back. You want to put me there? My ghost will haunt you. I promise you that. Whoa, I'll come turn off the light switches and open all the cell doors and be like, shopping with mom.
Jesus.
So behind that story, on our thing, it says press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, and then like throughout the other ones, it stops saying numbers and it starts saying shopping with ma, and I'm pretty sure that's not the actual way it's pronounced. It sounds like it though. And then right after that it goes, bah. It sounds like a joke. It's got all the different languages, but it literally said shopping with mom. Bah. And once I noticed that, I was like, it's game over. Like, oh, yeah, game over. You gotta use that all day long. Shopping with mom. Ah! I'm pretty sure it irritates people, but it makes me laugh non-stop.
Oh,
You guys are great.
It's
Yeah,
almost
it's
time
awesome.
to sing.
I just don't. Yeah.
it's getting near
I
time.
shouted it out earlier, and all I hear from the other side of the pod is, ah! Oh yeah. So it's catching on.
You're trendsetters. You're
Yes,
trendsetters.
yes.
I am not a follower. Not a follower, man.
No. No, indeed.
30 minutes.
All right.
Oh.
Hey, I got to tell you what, you all voices are really good.
Yeah.
You know, I got to say you get a lot of practice doing this, but the national anthem really has come together over the last year or so.
Oh man, that's because Pollock and them came to bless us with their voice. You should see them here on Sunday mornings. They were an angel. And I belong in a petting zoo when I sing. I ain't in a petting zoo.
Oh, wow.
That's just
I
funny.
swear.
Guys, have too much fun, man. Great.
Yeah.
Need the laughter.
Yeah. Does anybody else join in on the national anthem, like the guards or, anybody else?
There's one guard that will put his hand over his heart. His name's Mac. There's only one guard that will get him stand for the national anthem. The rest of them just sit back in their chairs and watch. And they wait for the African national anthem. But the African national anthem. We don't have that one. We don't have that here. Sorry, you don't know it. This is America. Well, we're about to go out and sing the national anthem. Johnny, do you want to give out your... Oh, yeah, my gift and go is the Pollock family. And I just have my DD number, which is 388351. Still working on a gift and go, but, people in my family take forever to do stuff. We procrastinate at a professional level.
You have 1 minute remaining.
But I will let... It's going to cut me off, so I'm going to let Quaggon give you a call back, all right?
All right.
Thank
okay.
you. Bye.
Shopping with mom. Bye.
Oh, that was so funny. They loved
The
it.
John and John show, because of John, Jon and JOH.
Well, I think the
They're so
interesting
funny.
part about those guys is their spirits are up,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
don't talk about their plight.
I think we might have missed it with this.
We might have missed it,
Well,
because by the
maybe-
time somebody else calls up, it's gonna be over.
Well, maybe they delay it. Sometimes they.
You asked me about our troll. Here. That's
You got toll info here?
Delete him or something.
I think
You
we
gotta
might
go
have to
away,
just do it
troll.
ourselves, guys. I don't think
You
they're gonna be able
suck.
to call back.
We'll wait.
Yeah. That's a shame. It ran out just at the singing part.
Yeah, I had a feeling
Well,
that
we
was
were
gonna.
laughing, having too much fun.
Yeah.
You were trying to get us to pay attention.
when I called in, I said, oh, it's gonna be short, because it's like, it's only a 15-minute phone call.
Yeah,
And
it's
I was
already
like-
after 9, so they're singing now, aren't they?
Well, we'll wait, we'll wait.
Well,
a
let's
minute.
go. Well, you wanna wait or?
I don't think they're gonna have the ability to call us. So-
I don't think so.
All right,
After 9, they
Let's
can't
do it.
call.
yeah, ready?
All right. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
USA!
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 All right,
All right.
That was great.
got her done.
Yeah, yeah, good. That one went by fast, didn't it?
Did.
So that was,
A lot of calls.
thanks everybody for joining in.
Thank you, Charles.
Holy folks, gotta go.
Yeah, yeah.
That was fun. Yeah.
Some people have too much fun.
Probably
Yeah,
sleeps in the same
Well,
bedroom
that's
with
it.
Harley
John
Quinn.
and Josh,
They're not
it's
even real
almost
people.
like a
No, they're not.
self moment.
They're automated, I think.
Thanks everybody for joining and being there with us, and
Yeah, we got
I tell you what, these guys are something else.
Q and Drew show.
They really
Yeah.
are. Love you all. Good night.
But they are.
Awesome.
Yeah, all they do